Have you started the disputing process for yourself and you're kind of getting impatient and you're trying to figure out how long is it going to take for you to dispute and remove those negative accounts off of your credit report? Well, in this video today, we'll be discussing how long it actually takes for you to dispute and remove those negative accounts off of your credit report so that you have a good expected timeline of how long it should take for yourself, okay? If you don't know who I am, my name is Kenny Johnson. I am a credit repair specialist located here in Montreal, Quebec. We operate a business that operates all over Canada. If you need assistance with your credit, send us an email, info@kennyjohnsonuniversity.com, or you can give us a phone call, 438-803-1002, and that's from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. So let's go ahead and jump right into the topic. You've probably started the disputing process, whether you started calling the credit bureaus, calling collection companies, or maybe you've done the best thing, which is to send dispute letters to the credit bureaus and to the collection companies. Now, you've probably done this for some time now and you haven't seen any results. Well, I could tell you everyone's situation is going to be completely different. If you watched any of my content in the past, you know that this is a common thing that I will continuously say, but it's the truth. So I always encourage people that are going through this process to look at someone else's credit report that would allow you to do so. So if you were to look at someone else's credit report and compare it to yours, what you're going to notice is that the type of accounts and the accounts themselves are going to be completely different. The data tied to those accounts are going to be completely different from what you have. So with that understanding, it should also make sense that your timeline, if you were to fix your credit versus fixing their credit, is going to be completely different. Because that person could have a bankruptcy and you could have one late payment on one account. Two different type of accounts, two different type of expectations, two different type of processes behind disputing those accounts. So you need to understand that there's a difference, and with the difference, there's going to be a difference in timeline. Now that you have that out the way, it's important to understand that the game of credit repair is a game of consistency. How long are you willing to follow up with the credit bureaus, the creditors, and the collection companies until you can get proof of debt from them? Now, proof of debt is really going to be specified towards if you have collection accounts or unjustified late payments, things of this nature. This is what you're looking for. You're looking for proof of debt. How often can you follow up with these companies? Often people come to me and they say, hey, I've been disputing on my own and I have very little success. And I will then ask, well, how long have you been disputing? In most situations, people will only probably send 2 letters and gave 1 phone call. But the truth is that that is not enough. People do not realize the amount of volume it actually takes for you to have success in fixing your credit. It may take you a year. I've had clients that have had everything removed in a month, and I'll use it for promotion for the business. But the reality of it is that that's not going to be everyone's situation. Yes, this person was able to remove a few collection accounts in the first month or the second month, but maybe it may take you a little bit longer. We don't know, because what we're looking for is a response from these collection companies, and they're going to try to delay the process for as long as possible because it's beneficial for them. So that's why it's our job, or your job if you're disputing on your own, to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent as possible. You have to have the outlook that I'm going to dispute for the next 10 years. If you can't sit down and say, I'm going to dispute for the next 10 years, then you are not ready to start disputing, because I've never had to work with someone for that long, but you have to have that mindset, because once you get those stall letters back from those collection companies or the credit bureaus, is you saying, okay, on to the next dispute. You have to keep going. After that first one, what's the response? I'm going to create a letter based off of that response, and I'm going to keep going until I have a document in my hand actually tying me to this debt. That's the game. You need to get this documentation from these collection companies showing that that debt is actually yours. And until that happens, you are going to remain completely persistent in disputing those accounts and trying to get them removed off of your credit report. Now, maybe you've gone to the next phase in the disputing process. That collection company was able to provide you with proof of debt. That creditor was able to provide you a proof that that late payment actually occurred. This is where you need to get creative and start negotiating. Maybe you're discussing with that collection company. Now you need to start doing pay for deletion. You need to request pay for deletion. You may, in most situations, have to pay the full amount for that debt. It is very rare that you're going to get anything less than that. It is very difficult. These companies are in it for profit. They're not doing it for any other reason. Yes, they purchase the debt for pennies on the dollar, but they're still looking to make a profit. So if you come to a collection company requesting proof of debt and are only willing to pay 10%, you are not being realistic. Business is business at the end of the day, regardless of how you feel. Business is business. Plus, on top of this, they have documentation tying you back to the debt. It is your debt. Thus, it is your responsibility to take care of this debt. So you might as well kill two birds with one stone, take care of your debt, and do pay for deletion with this for something that's realistic, okay? So if anything, I always encourage just try to do pay for deletion. If you try to end it quickly as possible and just try to pay off the full amount. Okay, but the point of me making this video is for me to encourage you that if you are disputing on your own, stay consistent, have a 10-year outlook. I understand very well that it takes accounts 7 years to age off, but there's no guarantees that those accounts are actually going to age off in 7 years. I've seen situations where collection companies will do things to reset that clock on those collection accounts, on those late payments. So you have to have the expectations that I am going to be disputing for the next 10 years. If you have that mindset, you will be successful in disputing. Now, maybe you don't have the time to do so. Maybe you say, hey, Kenny, I have a job. I don't have time to do that. I'm a nurse. I work crazy long hours. I'm a truck driver. I work crazy long hours. I'm always on the road. I don't have time to be sending dispute letters, following up with these companies, keeping documentation of all the disputes that I sent and following up with these companies. Well, that's why we exist. We do the work for a lot of our clients. So if you need help with your credit, repairing your credit, disputing these negative accounts off of your credit report, send us an email, info@kennyjohnsonuniversity.com. Me and my team will be more than happy to help you. You can also give us a call Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, 438-803-1002. And until next time, peace.